Can you hear me now? That should be better. Okay, sorry about that. I guess let me start over. This is a special Halloween episode. Halloween's next week. Let's see if I can adjust a few more things here. Adjust the microphone a little bit. Testing. Mic check. Hello. Alright, that looks better on the levels there. So, let me start over. Episode 10, Halloween's next week. Trying out some new stuff. I've got the desktop microphone instead of the headset. I didn't have the microphone set correctly, apparently. I tested right before, but just adjusting things here. We have a channel sponsor now. There is a musical artist from Brazil who goes by the name Foewi, F-O-E-W-I. Had a few conversations with him. He's got some pretty cool music, and he's given me the sync license so I can use it with the videos. So he's supporting the channel by allowing the use of the music. I'm going to try and do some live streams during the week of the 3D printer running. I just wanted to have some audio and stuff in the background too, because it's kind of boring with just watching a thing move. Listen to some cool music too. Hopefully the music's not too loud right now. I don't really have a good way of judging that using the streaming application. But as I live in Texas, we have the Texas Renaissance Festival, and I've gone several times with friends and family, and we usually dress up, but around Halloween I've never really dressed up in a costume. I don't know if it's never really just interested me or what the deal was. It seems like I'd be interested in it, but it just never turned out that way. Sorry, I'm shifting the camera around here. But last year, before or right after we had the flooding with the hurricane stuff, I decided I was gonna 3D print something for a Halloween costume, and I was looking on Thingiverse at some different masks, and this low poly mask is a pretty cool one. I did make a 3D print of it, but it was a smaller. Let me open this up. It was a smaller version, just to check out what it looked like. Oh, this one is actually the paper version. There's a plastic version here that you actually put LEDs along the chin line, and it looks pretty cool. You can see the image here, and the LEDs go in the chin and across the brow and lights up. Looks pretty cool. I printed one of those, but I printed it really small because first of all, the full thing wouldn't fit on my print bed. I'm looking over the printer. And I wasn't really sure how masks were going to work out and all the different settings and all that. But then it didn't work out for me. I didn't make a full mask last year. Another friend of mine, Ken, who was at Houston Maker Faire and who stops by here on the stream every once in a while, he's actually wearing this bunny mask for Halloween this year. And it's interesting because it prints in 3 pieces. There's the base of the mask, then the midsection, and then the top of the ears. And as you can see here, it's got these little nubs on the top, and on the bottom you can kind of see here it's got the holes that the nubs fit into, so it all fits together nicely. Just a little dot of glue and it works out. That one looked really cool, so I was looking around trying to find some mask, and there's actually a mask that's funny. I was looking around trying to find a cool mask, something that like wasn't too crazy or too involved, but also something that looked pretty cool. And what I ended up with was a Green Lantern mask that I can't find the print of now on Thingiverse. But let me switch over here to the desk camera. I 3D printed this in this nice steel blue. On this camera, it looks almost the same color as the blue masking tape, but printed it out in this blue. It's got a pretty cool look to it. It was a little bit closed in when I printed it, so I hit it with the heat gun real fast and put it up to my face to kind of stretch it out. But so something I wanted to try. I've never attached a 3D print to my body, so I went by the there's like a costume store nearby, and I told them what I had going on, and they gave me, or I purchased, this prosthetic adhesive. So I'm actually just going to try and put the mask on here and see how this works out with the 3D printed part. Pull my hair back. I don't want to get any adhesive in my hair. My wife mentioned that I maybe should have tried this out. I tried out this stuff beforehand to have a meeting in the morning, and hopefully I don't end up with a rash or something. But let me see. I'm going to switch back over to the desk camera. So, according to the directions, I'm supposed to apply a layer on the piece and then a layer on myself and let both of those dry, and then apply another wet layer, and then it'll attach the two dry layers. So I'm going to give that a shot here. I think I'm just going to do on the temples here and a little across the brow, because once this goes on, I can feel it. Here and here are good points to hold, and right here's a good spot to hold because it pushes it up to my face. So I'll give that a try. I'm going to put just a little bit here, and I'm curious to see if this actually dries and sticks well here on the plastic, on the brow, and then a little on this side. And while that dries, oops, I need to apply some to myself. I'm going to switch here so I can actually see myself too. Let me see here. Just a little bit across the top here. And hopefully this works out. And a little bit here. And a little bit over here. Oh, don't want to get it in my hair. Alright, so we'll see. I'm gonna have to let that dry. So anyway, gonna give this a shot. And so while we're doing that, talking about Halloween, switch back over to the desk camera. So I decided I wanted to try out a few different things recently. First of all, I got some stuff here. I saw this really cool design on Thingiverse for some bottles. So here I've got a 3D printed bottle. It's in this green filament. It's got this cool like swirling curved pattern, and it's got screw threads inside, and there are a couple of different lids. I really liked this jewel type lid here. So, and this actually just screws in so nicely, It's a really long set of threads, so it takes a long time to kind of screw it in. But I've got a couple of these on my desk at work, one with caffeine pills and one with potassium. So that was pretty cool, and I was looking into the modeling, not the modeling software, but the slicer I use, Simplify 3D, and there's a setting in there for a thing called vase mode. So I was looking into that, and what happens there, got a few more pieces here to show you. With vase mode, it takes a solid piece and converts it to just do like the outline. So this here, the actual model was completely solid, 100% solid. But here, I mean, you can see it's empty inside, and it's just, it feels really strong, but it's only like a layer wide or 2 layers wide. I think it's only a single layer wide. And I printed these at, I think, 0.2 millimeters for the layers, but it's really smooth. And but that's vase mode. It just sat there and went around in circles pretty quickly, and it didn't take very long. So I did a couple of them. These are a few different designs. This one has a longer neck. And there's a little treble there at the top, but it still looks pretty good. So then I was looking at other designs and on Thingiverse, and I came across an I Dream of Jeannie bottle, and it was a solid print, and it also had a topper. So I opened it up one of the streams recently. I believe had a friend watching too, and it's got so many faces because of all the different like faceted bits here that it took a really long time to open the program. But I was able to cut off the topper, and it was just a flat piece up there. So then this one printed with the vase mode, so you can see all the detail in there. If I can get it sort of lined up here, all the little detail, but it's only you know, 1 layer thick. So that was pretty cool. Then I thought I would try and print it with the topper on it to see what would happen, and that turned out to be a problem with vase mode, because vase mode, you know, all of these are thin, and there's not any flat surfaces. Well, the way the I Dream of Jeannie bottle worked, see, I can actually show it to you. Jeannie bottle. Yeah, let me pull it up here behind my head. So this Jeannie bottle, whoops. This Jeannie bottle. Let's see. Kind of. Oh, right there. So this Jeannie bottle is, this one has the body and the topper. And it looks really nice, but the way the topper works, switch this to the thing view, and it's loading. There we go. The way this top works, there's a flat spot here where the it's like the top of the cork or whatever. So that actually did not print well, and I'm not sure if you can see there, but there's an extra sort of mess inside where it was trying to print that that cork piece. So that didn't work out so hot because of the flat area. But I was liking the results with vase mode, with the different stuff, with its quirks, and I was thinking about Halloween, and I came across this really cool pumpkin design. It's like this pumpkin with a grumpy face. So I 3D printed a small copy of it, and it's this is like, I think, 20% infill, pretty solid. Looks good. See if I can get a good shot there, the grumpy face. He's kind of snarling. Looks pretty cool. Then I wondered if, because I wanted some big ones, and I wondered if it would, how long it would take, first of all, and if there were some other things I could do to make it less time. And then I thought about vase mode. And I'm not a very good judge of flat spaces, I guess. So I 3D printed it with vase mode, and he's big, and it looks really cool, except for when it got to the top, it was too flat. So that didn't work out so well. And then when you start looking closer, you can see like around the mouth and the cheeks and the brow, there's these gaps and holes and stuff because the model was too flat in those places to actually use vase mode. But I thought this turned out pretty well. And I was showing it to my wife, and she had an idea, since it's Halloween, and we don't really have any, we have no decorations up. She said, well, what if I printed some more in an orange filament, and in the bottom of it had a hole with a one of those LED tea lights that flicker. So you could place the LED tea light in the bottom of it, and then just set them out in the yard. There'd be these flickering pumpkins with these weird faces. It's like, well, that's pretty cool. So I'm got some orange filament, and I've got to do a little bit of modifications to the model. And I'll do, you know, some infill, not much, like 10% maybe or something, just enough to get the top to work out. And the model will include a hole in the bottom for the candle. And then I was also thinking, or trying to figure out some way, like if it's going to work out in the yard. And my wife said, well, what if it's too windy and these aren't very heavy, you know, they blow away, what could you do? Could you figure out some way to spike them into the ground? So I thought, well, when I modify the model to put the tea light there, I didn't want the LED tea light to just be on the ground. So what I can do is actually leave a hole for the tea light, and then I'll print a base for the tea light with a spike coming off of it. So the tea light will attach to the spike, and that will go inside the pumpkin, and then the spike will go into the ground. So we'll see how that works out. Got a few days before Halloween to get that figured out and give that a shot. But so I had 3D printed this guy, and I was looking on Thingiverse, and there were some other crazy pumpkin faces. So I printed a few more, and these I haven't cleaned up the prints yet because they finished just a little bit before we started here. But these are pretty gnarly looking. This one's got a pretty nasty face on him, some teeth showing there. I think this would look pretty cool with like a wash on it or something. Let's see, I'm going to turn the brightness down a little bit on this light, see if I can lessen the washout here. Let me see. That's brighter, a little bit darker. Let's try that. You just turn the light off and see if that helps. Yeah. As you can see, there's a pretty gnarly face there. There's another one here, kind of screaming. It's pretty cool. This one is my favorite. It's just a mouth. There's eyes. Everything else going on there. That's pretty cool. Let's see, one more. This one I think is the nastiest looking one though. So I kind of knotted up looking there. But so these, and you can see some of the supports are still on there. These printed this way, so the faces were actually looking up as it printed. So it had the faces are really well defined. Put these back in the box. Let me turn my light back on. Nope, this way. There we go. But so I found those on Thingiverse, of course, and I'll show you that. Whoops, pumpkin. I don't need the G. Pumpkin. So here was the Grumpy Pumpkin that I printed here. And there's a guy, don't remember his name or the user ID. But here's another evil pumpkin head. That one looked really cool too. I didn't go for that one though. Scroll down here. Some keychains. Lots of fun stuff. Ah, here we go. Creepy pumpkin heads. So set A had these two guys. The one without the eyes and the really like gnarly looking face. Those are really cool. These were printed on an SLA printer, so they're super smooth. And he even finished them. They look really good. And then set B is the screaming face and this other like gnarled up looking guy. So those are really cool. They printed really well. It comes with the supports built in. So as you can see here in this picture, zoom in a little bit. The supports are attached here already, coming off the, or it's sitting on the supports, and those worked out really well. The bottom of them stuck to the bed really well. The adhesion was great, so those are actually still on the bed of the 3D printer. So I need to work that out and fix those. Pull the rest of that off before I try to print anything else. But let me clean up the area here. So anyway, vase mode is pretty cool. Some other Halloween related prints, pretty cool. Let's see, this looks almost dry on the mask. You can see it's completely dry on that left side. Still drying in the middle and drying there. But since it's still just a little bit damp, instead of applying a second coat, I'm going to just go ahead and press it on and see what happens. The adhesive on my face feels pretty dry. So let's just go for it. See what happens here. Hopefully it'll stick. Hopefully nothing will get stuck in my hair. Hold it there for a minute. Let's see. I can feel it sticking here in the middle. It feels pretty good there. There's still a lot of pressure on this pushing against my face. So in the end I may need to use a lot more than just the 3 little dabs I did there. Probably a little more under the cheeks and across the brow here. But oh yeah, that stuck really good at the top. So yeah, that's gonna work. I think that's a successful test for now. I'd have to apply a lot more of it to get it to stick good, and I probably need to shave down a little bit too, because I don't want the guy said, you know, make sure you don't get the prosthetic adhesive stuck in the hair, because it would be bad stuff. So that's cool. And on the print, yeah, it's just a little gummy where the adhesive is, but it's not, you know, messing with the plastic or anything. So cool. That's nice. That'll work out well. And then to get it off, there's this other stuff, Bond Off. I'm supposed to spray on and let it soak in a little bit and start to peel back. So that'll be cool. Looks like that's going to work out. A prosthetic adhesive. The plastic to the skin. Cool. Let's see, it's 10 o'clock. It's still early yet. I had another idea for the Halloween stuff. So the front of our house, we've got a pair of windows upstairs in one of the guest rooms, and they're pretty good size. And I have two, I think they're 40-inch wide like they're monitors. They're kind of like TVs, but they don't have the TV tuner, so I guess technically they're monitors. And I was trying to come up with something cool to do with the window or something outside. A lot of our neighbors have decorations outside, like ghosting in the trees and skeletons around the yard and whatever. There was one really cool. Let's see. I took a video of it. Let me see if I can find that video real quick. There's one really cool around the corner. Put this back here. It's they've got a lot going on. Let's see. Yeah, I took this video earlier. Oops. Let me see if I can grab the actual video file instead of have to play it in the browser. Yeah, here we go. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna play this video file and see how this works. I haven't done too much with playing video files while streaming. Let me pause the music. Fire this up. It's probably going to open in Windows Media Player. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see here there's let me make myself smaller. And I'll rewind this and play it again. So you can see here they've got the skeleton dragon and the warrior and dogs and skulls and all kinds of cool stuff going on. So clearly I'm not going to compete with something like that. But I've got these windows, 2 decent sized windows upstairs, and I don't know why I turned the music off. There wasn't any audio with that video, or at least it didn't play. I don't know, maybe it played. I don't know. I had the stereo playing in the car whenever I recorded it. Anyway, oh hey Tiger, he says he's been here listening quietly. Glad you joined. So these 2 big windows, I've got these 2 TVs. I was trying to figure out something cool I could do. There's no way I'm going to compete with any of these people with like piles and piles of decorations. And I came across a project on Adafruit where there is this Raspberry Pi bonnet, and it comes off with these displays. And here in this project, there's also some, I don't remember what they're called now when I read through here, but it has these screens, and on the screens then they attach these like lens things that are like globes that attach on there to make the image on the lens look like an eyeball, make it round. And I was reading through this and I was like, well, this sounds pretty cool, seems pretty easy, but then there's extra like hardware and all this other kind of stuff. But then I noticed this link right here on the left that says using just the software. So they have this cool spherical display here, but they're saying that instead of using the TFT displays or the OLED displays, you can just use the HDMI port. Well, my 2 monitors have HDMI. I have an HDMI splitter. Raspberry Pi has a single HDMI port. And it even talks about here, if you're using HDMI, it uses a symmetrical eyeball image instead of the asymmetrical with the inside part of the eye here, which is showing right there. So I thought, I'll give this a shot. So if you guys want to hang out with me here, I'm just actually going to run through this tutorial and try and install this on a Raspberry Pi using the software side of it. So the hardware assembly, I don't have any hardware to assemble. Let's see, I do have a box of goodies here. A nice screen here I can use for testing. So I'm gonna put this here on the desk. I've got power for it. The power wire. And an HDMI cable. And I have a Raspberry Pi somewhere. I had a Raspberry Pi. Did I put it behind the microphone? Nope. Oh, over by my drink. So I have a Raspberry Pi, and I have an SD card plugged into the computer right now. So I've got all the pieces to do this for the Just With Software version. So I'm going to toss this together and see what we can do here. So even though I'm not doing the same hardware assembly they have listed on the website here, my hardware is different. Let's see. Skip ahead to the software installation, and I need to download the current version of Raspbian Lite, which I literally did not do any of this beforehand, so this might work, this might not. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Raspbian Stretch Lite. Just download the zip file. It's 351 megabytes. I ran a speed test earlier because I was having problems with streaming yesterday. I tried to stream the 3D printer, and then I had trouble this evening getting started, which is when I was late. But all the speed test stuff said everything was fine. So I don't know. Not sure what's going on there. Alright, so that's downloading. That's going to take a few minutes. And let's see, a USB keyboard, HDMI monitor, network. I've got Wi-Fi, that's cool. Let's see. This is use the latest Raspbian Lite for this project. Full-featured Raspbian won't work. Interesting. And older versions won't work. That's interesting as well. Especially since I think this was written in like 2015, this tutorial. So hopefully the current version will work. Okay, it says your target system is Raspberry Pi Zero. It's not, so we can skip that. I have my keyboard, got a monitor, got Wi-Fi. And okay, so actually I need to set up Raspbian Lite. So they're saying to use a program called Etcher. I've never used Etcher before. Tiger says, yeah, you're not as smooth as usual. Well, I don't know, man. Took my wife to dinner tonight. Was trying to be smooth, but I guess I can only do what I can do. Let's see. So Etcher. I've never used Etcher before. I've used Win32 Disk Imager or something like that. But so while that's still downloading, let's go over here and find out what's going on with Etcher. Make an SD card using Windows. So download Etcher. Alright. Let's download Etcher. Oh, okay, that looks cool. So we're going to download. So now I got a bunch of downloads going on here. So burn better, flash OS images to SD cards and USB drives safely and easily. Oh, they even have a command line interface. That's cool. And a bunch of different versions: Mac, Linux, Windows. I've somewhat recently been exploring using Linux for several things. It's supposed to be really good with working with SD cards too. So I may do a couple of episodes using my Linux laptop. Had some fun there with some encryption stuff. So ooh, that would make a fun episode. All right, so let's start up Etcher. Go to install. Is it running somewhere? Oh yeah, over here. So yep, I agree. It's installing. So this is, we're going to download it, install it, and then run the program. Cool. And we're about 2/3 of the way downloaded with Raspbian. So that should finish up as Etcher gets installed. So let me know in the comments, do any of you guys or girls or whatever have Halloween plans, costumes, decorations? What's going on? I feel like I'm kind of late to the party since I'm just now, putting together some stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I think if I put up some giant eyeballs in the window for a whole month, it would get kind of boring. But alright, well, Etcher's up and running. And we are 75-ish% downloaded on Raspbian. I remember one year for Halloween, my mom was home. This is back when I was in high school. And I was hanging out with a friend, and we decided to walk back to my house. And my mom was home alone by herself. And I kind of like messing with people. So we went around into the back, and she was in the living room watching TV. And we're tapping on the windows, and she'd come look, and nothing was be there. We'd run back around the corner. I got in a lot of trouble for that, but it's a little Halloween prank. All right, 2 seconds, 1 second. Got it. Okay, so zip file. $351 megabytes of 351 megabytes. Alright, well, I'll just open when done. Whenever you're ready. Yeah, Tiger, if this works, I'm going to put 2 giant eyeballs up in my second story guest room window. So as you pass by the front of the street, there will be pumpkin lanterns in the yard with orange filaments, with LED tea lights in the bottom, the flickering tea lights covering the yard, and 2 giant eyeballs looking down at the street, and they're supposed to move around and blink and all that kind of stuff. So I'll show you that one more time. So it'll be pretty cool, I think. If we can get it to work. We'll see. Alright, did that ever open? Yes, it did. Okay. Have the image file here. I'm going to copy that out. Let's see. Just make a new folder on the desktop. List images. And paste. 1.73 gigs compressed to 351 megabytes. That's not bad. Is that like compressed down to a little more than a fifth? Come on, you can do it. Almost done. 5 seconds. And let's see, Etcher. Get Etcher ready. So we are going to select an image. I like this already, the Etcher program. It looks a little more modern compared to Win32 Disk Imager, or Win Disk Imager 32. I don't know, whatever it was called. Alright, let's see, it's desktop, and then images, Raspbian Stretch Lite. Select the drive. Yes, E drive. Is that right? Or make sure. Yeah, E drive. That would have been bad. And flash it. Unusually large for an SD card or USB stick. Are you sure? Yeah, it's a nice size card. Something else is going on here. Yes. Whatever that was. Let's see. Stinger 839 says, I have small decorations out. One large skull, transparency in the kitchen window. No, oh, transparency in the kitchen window. Nice. Do some pumpkin sculptures. Go downtown for a palm or tarot reading. I don't really get into costumes. So you're going down to get a palm reading or a tarot reading. You're not giving any tarot readings or palm readings. Because, you know, if you were giving them, you could dress the part, which would kind of be like costume, I guess. But not really into costumes, so that's, let's see, 11%. It says it's going to take about 4 minutes. Let's see, palm and tarot readings. You know, something I never really thought about, but I guess I wonder if the palm readers and tarot readers and psychics and whatnot get more business around Halloween. Interesting. I don't know. There's a psychic down on the main road nearby, sort of nearby, closer to the old place. But and I always see the signs open, and I always wonder, you know, I wonder if they're open because they know a specific person is on their way to come see them. So Stinger 839 says he's getting either a palm reading or a tarot reading, but if they were giving them out, they would be in a costume. That's cool. Let's see. And all the psychic type people dress up for Halloween. But does that mean that they normally don't dress the stereotypical, like, psychic way? Is that just a TV thing? I wonder. Interesting cultural stuff we're talking about tonight. Let's see. It says, oh, they definitely get more business there. Nice. Well, this flashing went from 4 minutes estimate to a 29-minute estimate. So, I guess that's going to take however long it takes. I'm just going to let that run, though. I don't want to stop it. But, alright. So, let's see. While that's running, I'm going to go back to the software installation section here and read on. So we're going to use Etcher. We are using Etcher. Let's see. Stinger 839 says, just casually chatting in the past. This week, Halloween week, is like their biggest week, their biggest month. Some dress up all the time, but seeing one not dressed up around Halloween is rare. Well, that makes sense. You know, you want to dress the part, get the customers, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. Oops, shifted the camera there. Alright, so insert the micro SD card, connect the monitor USB, Ethernet cable, if using wired, power up. Okay, so while we're waiting on that to flash, I am going to go ahead and plug in all the hardware goodies. Let's see here. I think I'm going to steal the power from my lamp and use that for the monitor here. This is a really cool monitor too. Let me pull this up so you can see it. I don't remember if I got it from I got it somewhere online, but it's got this really nice acrylic body and some stuff there. On the back, it even has mounting holes. You can see here all these different mounting holes, and they're all numbered 1 through 4. And it shows right here. Whoops, wrong direction. Finger. It shows right here, like, if you use mounting holes labeled 1, it's for the Raspberry Pi. Use a mounting hole labeled 2, it's Raspberry Pi A, 3, 3B, all that kind of stuff. mounting hole 3. Mounting hole 4 is for the BeagleBone Black. So you can actually have like this standalone, have the board mounted to the back, and it's attached over HDMI, and you've got this really cool little standalone display here. Let's see, power, and it also has touch. So there's a USB port here for touch too. There's probably additional drivers needed for that, or something. All right, we have activity. Switch over to the desk cam, and you can see. Oops, gotta put it inside my blue square. The screen is changing colors. So there's power to the screen. I have the little tiny HDMI cable. Let's see, Stinger 839 says for the psychic type people in Halloween, a lot of them go for the vampire look, or the gypsy look, or the witch look. That seems to make sense. HDMI, Raspberry Pi, HDMI here on the side. Push this back a little more. I have another power. Pardon my reach. I'm actually going to borrow the power from the digital magnifying glass, and just going to plug into the Raspberry Pi for power. Well, I don't want to plug that in yet because I don't have the SD card in. But actually, if I plug that in, I wonder what the monitor will do. It's not making a difference. And the Pi actually didn't light up. Let's see if this wire is even plugged in. It's not. But it can be. Let me see here. I've got my camera all kinds of messed up again. Oh, out of whack. It's alright. Let's see. Have a power supply over here. Plug that in. There we go. Alright, we have an LED on the Raspberry Pi, so that's good. Interesting that the screen didn't react when the Pi's on, but there's no SD card in it, so there's no there's not anything running anyway. Oops. Let's see if I can fix my camera. There we go. Etcher's still flashing along here. We're at 34%, a third of the way. Alright. So let's see. Tiger, do you have anything going on for Halloween? If you're still connected with us here. You or any of your neighbors have anything cool going on? Let's see. I have a friend that has a party every year. I've never been. It's mandatory to dress up if you go to the party, which is pretty cool. So everybody's going to be in costume, and I think there's live music and stuff. But I've always had something going on because it's not ever on Halloween. It's like the weekend before or whatever, and there's always something going on. Let's see here. This is just going to take some time to run. Let's see what's next here. Keyboard. My usual desktop keyboard, I think I actually have plugged into the back of my computer. So, while this is running, let's see. Tiger says Deadpool in the driveway giving out candy. That's awesome. Tiger has a tricked out Jeep that's Deadpool themed, and a couple of different masks and all kinds of fun Deadpool stuff. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'll like to see pictures of that. Let's see here. I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna, while this is running, wherever it went, here we go, 38%. take a short break. I'm gonna grab the other keyboard and get a couple other things set up here, and I'll be right back in a minute. Okay. So, I figured since we're using a Raspberry Pi, which is a little tiny credit card sized computer, that I would get my little tiny keyboard. Figured it's appropriate. And I see we're at 53% on the etcher there, running on the drive. I'm just gonna plug in the little keyboard. This keyboard is really cool. I think I found it on Amazon. Let me see here. It's just a little tiny keyboard, full set of keys, mouse on it, mouse buttons, and even some media buttons: play, pause, mute, volume up, volume down. And it's got the function key, which then also allows the numpad, which is kind of here in blue. You can sort of see it, maybe. Yeah, you can see the number keypad there. So it's a pretty cool little tiny keyboard. I've used it for basically on using it with Raspberry Pis, because I've got 2 or 3 systems around running stuff, and didn't want to lug the big keyboard around. I've got a couple of mechanical keyboards, and they're decent size, and there's not always a lot of space wherever you're working at too. One of my Raspberry Pis is set up as a RetroPie gaming station, and it's got a similar screen to the one here that we're working with today, but this one is 10.1 inch. The other, I have a smaller one with the RetroPie. It's I think it's maybe 5 inches. That seems about half. Yeah. And it's on a little 3D printed stand I made for it, and I've got some USB controllers and stuff. That's always fun when we travel. I have a nephew who's 13 now, and if we're traveling with family, he and I'll set up in the back of the van or whatever and play some video games. That's one of the things that's really cool about the Raspberry Pi, is you can just power it off of a USB battery. The amperage has to be enough or whatever, but like this little USB cylinder battery would run a Raspberry Pi. Maybe not for very long, but you know, there's different batteries of different capacities. I had another one here to show you. Oh, it's on the other side of my box of goodies from earlier. Let's see here. There we go. This one's pretty cool. It has a solar panel on the front. Let me turn my... Oh, no, I can't turn the light on because I stole the power. Ah. There's, let's see, I'm going to swap the power back to the light right now because we don't need the Raspberry Pi to be turned on until we get the SD card in. There we go. So it's got a solar panel on the front side. So when I'm traveling, I can just stick that out in the window or whatever at the hotel. And here on this side, it's got 2 USB in ports, a charging port, or sorry, power out for the USB, charging port. Let's see if I can show you. There we go. And there's a big bright LED here too, with an on-off switch for the light for that. This one's actually dead right now, but it's got a 100,000 milliamp hour battery inside here, which you can't see because that's upside down. There we go. It's a pretty cool little setup, and it's curved on this one side, and then the other side it's notched. So I've had like 3 or 4 of them lined up, and they all just kind of line up perfectly with each other. So let's see, we were talking about the Renaissance Festival earlier. Tiger asked, do you guys have a Renfest visit date planned? We haven't really talked about it this year. The times we've gone, we usually try to go early, and like September. But I mean, if you've got a date in mind, we can see if our calendars align. We've got a lot of stuff going on too with Thanksgiving coming up and all of that, and you know how scheduling goes. I know my wife has a lot going on with her job too, with different events and stuff. But yeah, I mean, shoot me some dates. We can see what's going on. I can feel the prosthetic adhesive. It's completely dry now, and it's kind of like it feels like whenever you just have glue on like a finger or something, except it's on my face. It's kind of like peeling off and rolling off, but it's not itching or anything. So that was a slightly dangerous, I guess, live test of the adhesive stuff. But I think that's going to work out just nice. Let's see, Tiger says, how about the Highland weekend? He's got a new kilt. Nice. I'll have to look up when that weekend is and see what we have going on, but we can chat about that offline. We'll see what's going on. It's always a good time. Gotta, especially the food. My favorite is always to get the Scotch eggs. They're so good. I was talking about that today. I could eat breakfast for every meal. I'd be fine with that. But and we do have our Renaissance Festival costumes too. So and it does not usually include a mask, but if this mask thing works out, maybe I'll add that to my mercenary costume. But a bunch of swords and cloak and all kinds of cool stuff. Let's see, where are we at here in Etcher? 70% flashing. 70%. Well, since we're talking about the Renaissance Festival, I don't know if Tex Rinfest, I think it's .com. Hope so. If not, we could be in trouble. Oh yeah, Tex Rinfest. If anybody that's watching the stream that's out of state, Stinger or anybody else, the Renaissance Festival is a pretty big deal here in Texas. There's a campground and all kinds of fun stuff at the All Hallows Eve. And let's see, oh yeah, here's the difference. So there was the 1001 Dreams, Barbarian Invasion, Pirate Adventure, All Hallows Eve. Those are the current. Oh, there's a little arrow. The Roman Bacchanal, Heroes and Villains, the Highland Fling, and the Celtic Christmas. I think there were some older dates too. Oh yeah, Oktoberfest. It all starts with Oktoberfest. It's pretty neat though. And of course, there's the official king and queen of the Renaissance Festival. They're usually out at a bunch of the conventions trying to get people interested in things. There's a king's feast. You get to have a meal with the king and queen. So, pretty neat stuff. Always a good time there. Let's see, TRF After Dark. I'm afraid to click on that link here while live streaming. I have to check that out later. I don't know what's going on there. It's probably information about the camping and events like that. But so November 17th is a Highland Fling. I'll take a look at the calendar and see what's going on. Maybe we can hook up for that. Let's see, I'm gonna leave myself a note here. November 17th. So we'll check that out. And let's see, back to Etcher here. We're at 75%. Don't need that anymore. That's just gonna burn the SD card and it'll be done. Let's see. If you burn a lot of cards, speed it up by turning off validate right. Oh, I should have read ahead and turned that off because it's going to validate after this. But that's fine. It's interesting that Etcher thought this is a USB drive, but I think that's because The front panel on my PC, there's a bunch of USB ports and then a bunch of different weird media ports. So the SD card slot, I think, gets read into this USB bus, so it thinks whatever's plugged into it is a USB drive. Let's see, Tiger says November or the 18th. Did I screw that up? I thought that said the 17th for the Highland Fling. Let's see, September, October, November. Oh, it's 17th and 18th. Cool. Yeah, that's well like a Saturday and a Sunday. Yeah, we can talk about it. We'll see what's going on. And anybody else that wants to come hang out, supposing we make it happen. Let's see, 80%. 7 more minutes. Alright, so I've wondered too. I know they update the official version of Raspbian, which is Debian for the Raspberry Pi. One of the Raspberry Pis I got came with Noobs, which I forget what that stands for. New out of the box software. It actually has a couple of different operating systems on it. So the first time you fire it up, you take a look, and you get a bunch of different choices. And then I think you get to choose once, and then it overwrites the card, which is pretty neat that it works that way. And then you can always download and reinstall Noobs and try the other ones, I guess. Let's see here. It says Noobs is an easy operating system installer which contains Raspbian and LibreElect. It also provides a selection of alternative operating systems which are then downloaded from the internet to be installed. I don't know anything about LibreElect. Oh, it's actually going up to their TV. Just enough OS for Kodi. Oh, cool. So if you want to build your own set-top box and watch some movies or whatever, this has the basic stuff for that lined out. That's cool. The Raspberry Pi website actually has a lot of really cool stuff on it for you know, education and the forums and the blog. The blog is interesting. I usually run across about an article every other week on here that looks really interesting. Like I saw, I think it was today. Yeah, the 25th. Build your own robot cat. I think my cat would get upset if I did that, but it's pretty cool. Laser cut pieces that all come together, and let's see. There's a here's all the parts laid out. Looks like a pretty neat little project. It's got the rangefinder sensors and all the different motors and stuff for all the bits, and the Raspberry Pi actually runs it. Here you looks like Nyboard version 0. Oh, cool. They had a Kickstarter, or they have a Kickstarter? Yeah, they have a Kickstarter, and you can get the entire cat kit for $200 through the Kickstarter, and it comes with the Nyboard, which is a motor control board, it looks like. So that looks pretty cool. Like I said, I don't think my cat would like that. She might get upset. But it says, yeah, you've built your own robotic pet, such as canine-inspired dog, like Canine from Doctor Who, or the Raspberry Pi connected Android sheep. Let us know. No, that's pretty cool. Neat little thing there. There was another one recently on the blog. Let's see if I can find it. And we're at 88% on the flashing here. Yes, the Halloween voice changer using Raspberry Pi Zero. This looked really cool. This is one I was thinking about trying out. It doesn't necessarily have to be for Halloween. This guy, he's got a hat that he made. Not this mask, but the pieces that go on top of the Raspberry Pi, the extra boards that go on top are called a hat. And this one is a audio DAC hat, and let's see, where is this going to open up to? Yeah, on raspbiaudio.com. So this is cool because it plugs in on top of the Raspberry Pi. It has a built-in microphone, and it's got some built-in speakers. So see, it plugs in right here. And I believe the original intention was to work with like a homemade Alexa type thing, where you can ask questions or whatever. Oh yeah, try the Alexa voice assistant. Install Raspbian Stretch. There's an instructable for setting things up, and do the sound output. So, you know, neat little stuff like that. Here's a video of the Raspberry Pi, Alexa on Raspberry Pi with Raspbi Audio. So it's a neat little project. In this one, he used some Play-Doh. He's got the hat on the Pi Zero, and it's inside of his mask. And when he speaks, the microphone picks it up. The Pi does some processing, and then it plays it out of the speakers on the hat as well. And it's like some scary voice or whatever. It's pretty cool. Let's see, 92%. Let's take a look here, see what else is going on the blog. Let's see, there's Your Face, 14 feet tall. This was really cool too. This is some art installation in Columbus, Ohio. It's a whole bunch of it's like layers, like those 3D puzzles of the world or whatever. And just like in 3D printing, it prints out in layers. So this is a layer, multiple layers. I believe they're LED strips or LED arrays or something. And yeah, so it's got 32 Raspberry Pis across this thing, and you can see here it's got all of these layers. Let's see, I looked at the video, but I didn't let me play some of this here. No audio though. Oh, come on, there we go. So you can see like it's this massive thing, and yeah, it's just these bunch of LEDs and these strips that do this contour that kind of looks like a face. And then you go inside this booth, and it scans your face and takes a picture, and then it maps it to this sculpture, this giant sculpture. It's pretty cool. But the I'm gonna put a copy of this blog post in the chat here. So if anybody wants to check that out too, it's a pretty neat little video, nice little write-up talking about the stuff there. Tiger asked, do I owe you $40? We can talk about that. You know, hey man, where's my money, man? No. We can talk about that later. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Etcher's at 99%. Looks like I've rambled on enough to get us here to the end. Come on, Etcher. Oops. So it's finishing. So I'm gonna take that power wire back. Etcher is an open source project by Resin.io, version 1.4.5. Alright, well, that's still finishing. Like any good finishing sauce, it may take some time. Alright, so, that's doing that. I've got the little tiny keyboard hooked up. We've got HDMI to the screen. Let me switch back over to the other scene here so we can see the desk. I'll shift here. So now when that's done, I really need to work out some better optics here for the desk. This little USB camera is not bad, but it's also not the best. I'm using my cell phone as a camera for my main camera here. I don't know, I just waved at you. You know which camera I'm talking about. It's the one camera I use, the main camera. And sometimes I use the security camera stuff to show the 3D printer. It's got kind of a fisheye lens thing going on with that. Hey, now it's validating. Oh, it's going to take 10 minutes to validate. Or so. Alright. So let's see, I've got some other Raspberry Pis around the house. This one is a Raspberry Pi in a red case. I've got another one in a green case. I think this red one is Raspbian set up with the lamp stack. So it's Linux with Apache, MySQL, and PHP. And I have WordPress installed in here with a really cool like knowledge base theme. And for a while when I was doing projects at home, every time I'd finish one, I would compile my notes together and put it in the site. So I've got 4 or 5 different decent sets of project notes and stuff on here. One thing, some of my Raspberry Pis or even different like cameras I have and things like that, they've never connected to the new network here at the new house. So I bought another router and set it up as the old network so that I could still log in and then change the connections for the different machines and stuff that aren't actually running on the new network yet. I've got one in a green case over here. I'm not sure, it's the same print as this one, just in a different filament color. This one is my favorite Raspberry Pi case. It's in 2 pieces. On the inside there's a track on the side, and it's got all these airflow holes and some port holes on the sides. So this slides right in, like even with the SD card in the back, there's a little port for it, so once it's in the case you can still swap out the SD card. So this just like fits in the little trough, slides right in. Oh, gotta get it lined up in the back. Well, I said it slides right in. There we go. You can see the SD card kind of pokes out there, so you can pull it out. The power, HDMI, and audio on this side, and then the network and 4 USBs in the front. And it's got this extra little piece here, this little clip. So I pull it out just a little bit and slide these down. Let's see which way did it go. Yeah, this way. It slides in between the ports. And all these ports have like a little lip around the edge. So it holds it in like that, and that just snaps in shut, and it's a nice look to it, a nice solid case there with just the ports available and some air holes. I like that case quite a bit. Then I've got, like I said, the Raspberry Pi with RetroPie installed on it. That's just attached to the back of the screen on that one. I've got another one over here. It's in a laser cut acrylic case. That one was a fun project. That was, I think that was one of the like a Raspberry Pi A or A Plus or something. One of the really early models. It doesn't have HDMI, but it has the composite video out. But That's got a bunch of scripts on it set up so that when it first turns on, it opens up a copy of Iceweasel, which was a Chromium clone from a few years back. I don't know, it might still be around, but Chrome actually works and Firefox works on the Raspberry Pis now. But it opens up Iceweasel, logs into a specific Gmail account that is shared between my wife and I, opens up the calendar page, and makes the calendar page full screen. So the point of that was, instead of having to buy a brand new wall calendar every year for, you know, $3 or $5 or whatever, you just have a monitor mounted to the wall, and it runs the calendar forever. And because we have the account is linked to our accounts on our phones, and in the computers, I can add a thing to the calendar on my phone, and it shows up on her phone, and it shows up on the joint wall calendar, the digital joint wall calendar. So that was a pretty cool project. There was a lot of fun stuff going on there. That was my very first Raspberry Pi project, and I was a little scared to, you know, with what I was doing. I hadn't really used Linux that much either, and you know, I don't even know what version of Raspbian that is, but it is running Raspbian, but it's really old. Before, like, let's see, what version are we on here? Oh, I don't know, but there was like Jessie, and then there was something else, and anyway, let's see, 52% validating, 6 more minutes. So, but anyway, all these machines are connected to Wi-Fi, but all these Raspberry Pis, but they don't have the new Wi-Fi network information for the new network. And I didn't want to set it up just to be exactly the same as the old one, because a newer router and newer features and whatever, and it's got some band steering. So there's like the 5G network and the like 5 gigahertz network, and then the 3.5 and whatever else. 3.5, is that right? I don't know. I'm getting tired. It's 11. Anyway, so both of those networks have the same name, and then whichever device you're on, the router uses what's called band steering to put you on the better network based on what device you have and all this kind of stuff. It's pretty interesting. But anyway, so I bought another router, set up the old network, and have been slowly bringing all these other devices back online and switching them over to another network and getting all that running again. It's fun stuff. And you know, I had to do the same thing to get have a Amazon Fire Stick and to get it to work, because it only had the network information for the old network, and there was no way to connect to it to change the network information, and the remote wasn't working for whatever reason. I don't remember if it was the battery or something wrong with the Bluetooth, but I ended up having to like reset the remote or something weird. I don't know. Strange stuff whenever you take a whole bunch of devices that were on one network and then go somewhere else and try to set them all up on a new network. Same with the cameras. I have these Wi-Fi cameras. They're pretty nice, weather-proof cameras and all that. But yeah, they were a huge pain to get disconnected from a non-existent network and then reconnect to the new one. But let's see, 72% validated. I'm not really sure what it means by validating. I wonder if Etcher's website has any information about that. Validating. There was a feature suggestion in 2017 to skip validation. I understand that request. Let's see what else is going on here. Add a skip link below the validation progress bar. That's from 2016. I I just want to know what the validation does. Let's see. And I don't see a skip thing there. I do see an X off to the side. I'm not sure if that'll actually cancel it or just skip the validation. We're at less than a minute. It's not a big deal. But I just want to know what the validation actually is. And by the way, this is on GitHub, which means the code for Etcher is open source. That's nice. Let's see, documentation. Is there anything here about validation? Covering broken drives. I don't see anything. It's made based on the Electron framework. That's cool. There's a lot of fun stuff made with Electron. It doesn't say anything about what the validation actually is. Oh no, it says one failed device. Flash complete. One failed device. Physical drive verification failed. I'm just gonna close it and see what happens. Oh no. It doesn't show the drive is here anymore. Let's see. Hope I didn't just screw up my SD card. Come on. There we go. That looks correct. All the dates are weird though. 9:25 at 9:06 a.m. That's weird. What's in the config folder or config file? Actually, I'm going to open that in Notepad++. Notepad++, if you haven't heard of it, is a really nice little program. It does all kinds of formatting and file types and stuff. Let's see. I don't know. Looks good to me. I don't know why it said it failed. Or why the dates are all wrong. But issues. Who knows? I'm gonna plug it in and see what happens. If it didn't work, then it didn't work, and I'll try again. Let's see here. Alright, let me swap the scene. Alright. Plug in the SD card here in the back. And plug in the power. And away we go. We got power. Oh, we've got the rainbow screen. And raspberries in the corner. There we go. So, I don't know what it said was wrong, but it seems to be doing something. Let's see. Kernel panic. Not syncing. Unable to mount root file system. Unknown block. Well, that does not sound good. Let's see. Raspbian unable to mount root file system on unknown block. Kernel panic VFS, yes, from the Raspberry Pi forums. So I'm not the first one to have this problem. Let's see. I boot the Pi, I always get this, unable to mount. This have an operating system except Raspbian MC. Exact same problem. somebody had this problem with Wheezy. That's right, Wheezy was before Jesse. Let's see. I don't see anything here that really seems to help. Let's see, I found a reference that low voltage on the supply or feeds from the USB ports can be unexpected writes to the SD card. That's interesting. I don't think that applies here necessarily. SD card was not supported. I've used this SD card before though. Let's see. Oh, this is almost the exact same block number too. Two different SD cards. Defective mounting resulted in some error. Fix the problem, check the file system. Alright, well, I'm going to just reboot and see what happens. Oops. And I'm going to unplug the keyboard as well. Let's see. Power down. Make sure that's in real good. Power up. Alright, same problem. I'm going to switch these power wires just to see if maybe it is a low voltage issue. Try this again. Come on, little buddy. Not syncing. BFS unable to mount. Alright. Well, let's see. Where did my green Raspberry Pi go? Not sure. Let me see what happens if I hook up the red one that had that has the website running on it. Well, got the 4 raspberries. Ah, I had set this one up with Pi Bakery. I forgot about Pi Bakery. Pi Bakery is pretty cool because it has... swap back over here. Yeah, Pi Bakery has these like blocks where you can set up the first time it boots, you know, do these different things, set up the Wi-Fi, whatever. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and download this again. I don't think I have. Do I still have it installed? Oh, I do still have it installed. Okay. I'm gonna fire up Pi Bakery then. Drop this SD card in. Take a look and see what the Wi-Fi settings are. Adjust them for my network. And see what else is running there. So with Pi Bakery, yeah, cool. running the Wi-Fi setup, but that's not going to work because it's going to be set up for the old network. So I'm just going to kill this. I'm always a little worried when I just straight unplug a Raspberry Pi. Let's see, I'm not going to update that just yet. This. Plug that in. Alright, it says it has been detected that you have an SD card connected that has been used with Pi Bakery before. Do you want to load in the existing configuration for this card so that you can make changes to it? Yes, I do. Oh yeah, all the old network stuff is there. Let's see here. I'm going to slide this over because I don't want just everybody seeing my network info. And that type is correct. To hit the update button in the corner. Oh, let's see. Boot to the desktop. That password's fine. Yeah, update. SD card updated. Alright. Let me eject that. So, failed with the first SD card. Try this other one. That back in there. Get the HDMI and the power. Switch this back to the desktop camera. 4 raspberries. It doesn't matter which actual Raspberry Pi I physically used, right? This one would still work fine. It's just the SD card was an issue, and that SD card was in there. I don't know why I didn't use a different or why I used a different board. But it does eliminate that you know, that board is a potential problem out of the loop. There, I'm back. Is this going to connect? I don't know, this seems to be taking an oddly long amount of time. Just disable the Wi-Fi for now. Or not disable it, but remove the Wi-Fi script, setup script. Pi Bakery. Yeah, run Pi Bakery. Is it going to detect the SD card? Yes. Wait, no, that was asking me about the Raspbian update. There we go. Detected. And on every boot it has the set up Wi-Fi right now. Let me shift this over here where you can see it, kind of. What is going on here? Oh. I don't know. What happened? That. That's weird. It's like my screen resolution changed or something. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna update. It doesn't have the Wi-Fi information in there now. Okay. Close that. That all looks looks good. Now see here, there's actually a Pi Bakery folder. No, you can't see because you're looking at the desk. There's a Pi Bakery folder here, and inside of it, it's got blocks, and every boot, first boot, next boot, run next boot, tells which one it's going to run. Because the first boot, it would only run the first boot. And anyway, it's a neat little system. Eject. Okay. Try this again. Plug in the SD card and power. Four raspberries. Alright, there we go. Welcome to Pixel. Login. Alright. Using my little tiny keyboard. Screen just went dark. Oh. And the little tiny mouse works. But the keyboard, oh, there it goes. Log in. Alright. Nice desktop. Cool. Okay, so let's just go back to the software installation here. Alright. Connect to Wi-Fi. It's actually connecting to the copy of my old network. Yeah. Grab a different one. Shift this over for a sec. It didn't work out. Put in my password here real quick. Failed to reconfigure. Come on, Wi-Fi. Failed to reconfigure. Alright. Well. That's not a good sign. Turn Wi-Fi off, turn it back on. There's some weird network names in here, like /00///000. Let's see. I am going to shut down my temporary router so it will stop connecting. The little test router guy. Alright, that lost the connection. Good. Oh, now it looks like it's connecting to the other network. Is it going to work? Oh. Okay, we're connected. Let's see, let me verify. I'm going to go to the web browser. And let's go to Google. maybe. Oh, that's still spinning. Over with the terminal, I see VNC is running. So if I can pull up the terminal here and get the IP address, I can just log in through VNC on my computer here so we can see what's going on there a little easier. Let's see. Do I have... Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can connect to that. Do I have the VNC client installed? VNC? Yes. Well, I have a server. I don't want the server. Yeah, I want the viewer. There we go. Is it gonna work? I don't think it worked. Try that again. Oh, it says no security type supported. Server sent security types. We don't support any of theirs. That's weird. So let's see here. Switch over here. I'm actually going to put in the IP address just to make sure. Which was what? 192.168.1.181. 138.168. Let's see what options. Scale, colors, whatever. There's not anything in here about security stuff. Let me check on the Pi. Oh, the problem with connecting to Google is Chrome said that my clock is ahead. So, okay. Update date and time. Oh, it's not ahead, it's actually behind. This Pi thinks it's 2017, September. Let's see, it is October 25th, 2018. It didn't. That was weird. How do I actually set the clock? Let's see, preferences, configuration, maybe? That seems overkill. Well, let's just look it up. Raspberry Pi set date and time. How to set the date and time. The date and time are wrong. How do I change it? You can set it. Grab this here. Localization, time zone. UTC. I'm not in UTC. States and location central, setting time zone. I don't know why it didn't connect to some like NTP server or something. Go back to the terminal. What does it say when I put in date? Yep, it says the wrong thing. Let's look at the man page for date. Print or set the system date and time. Okay. And I can set it, it looks like. There's some format stuff. Alright. So probably sudo date dash s, and then whoops, yeah, I didn't mean to hit enter. Thank you. Where are the quotes on this keyboard? Oh, there's a special character. Oh no. When I hit it, it does the ampersand. Oh, but it's switched with the other. Okay. Well, that's fine. This is probably set up to like a British keyboard or something inside of Raspbian. What was I doing now? I was going to set the date. It's Thursday, August 25th. And it is 11:33, which would be 23:33, and that's not UTC, but I'm not going to put a time because I already set the time zone. We'll see if it works. And it is 2018. Date invalid. Okay, so then what time is it right now, UTC? UTC time now. It's 4:33. Alright. And that would also be August 26th. And UTC. Alright, which set it to 23:33. Nice. Alright, Google. Are you happy now? Refresh. Oh. Saturday. It's not August, it's October. Alright, let's try that again with the correct month. That was weird. I just want my Halloween eyeballs. Come on. Refresh that page. Hey, Google's working. Okay. VNC. I don't need any news from the VNC server thingy. VNC viewer users can connect to this address. Alright. I did that. Try again. Connecting users, signature matches, catchphrase. Okay, sure. So, connect. Error, no security type supported. Server sent security types, but we do not support any of their. Let's see, do I have another VNC client? I don't think so. Let's see. Alright. Let me look at the configuration here. Let's see, connectivity. That's just the computer name and the IP. Details? apparently there's no details. Alright, it says a Java-enabled web browser. Let's try that then. http://192.168.1.181 port 5800. Hey, VNC viewer. Let's see if this works. Anything? See what developer tool says. Well, refresh this and look at the network trace. Yep, I grabbed everything. Well, looks like this isn't going to work out. Any other options here? Maybe there's a VNC server update or something. Because there was a message that says they announced VNC Connect, but I don't know what that means. Users connected, my license is fine. Alright, now I don't want to contact you. Connect your Raspberry Pi from anywhere. Set up the Pi. Download the viewer. Oh, I wonder if I download the viewer. What is this? realvnc.com Raspberry Pi. Download the viewer. A standalone exe. Fast reader. Oh, okay. I did have the viewer, apparently. Let's see if this just works. Trying to connect to a host name. Oh, look at that. Nice. Alright. Cool. Well, maybe we can continue this now. Whew. Alright, let's go back to software installation. I wonder, like I said, this Raspberry Pi I'd set up with WordPress. If I try to go there, what happens? It should try to redirect me. I think I had home.jeremysouthern.com pointing to it previously. That's weird. I don't know why that opened. Did I do that? some properties here. Picture quality to automatic. It'll look a little bit better. Oh yeah, try to redirect me to Jeremy or home.jeremysouthern.com. So let me see. Windows host file. Windows 7 host file. Open up Notepad++. Run as administrator. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. Open. Where am I going? C Windows System Drivers XTC. Alright. Copy that. Over here. Paste that. I've got the wrong IP address. Because I had this set up previously, but it was on a different network, I guess. So what was my IP again? Config. Oh, there's a little delay there. Okay. 192.168.1.181. 1.181. Save that. Let's try that again now. Home.jeremysouthern.com. It's actually getting something back. Hey! Nice. So, Jeremy's knowledge base. It still works. Got some 3D printing stuff, Arduino stuff, Raspberry Pi stuff, WordPress stuff. Cool. Alright. Well, so that all works. That's nice. Oops. Minimize that. Let's go back to this one. So, all of that is finally set up. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any of that. We've already done that. Here's the Pi software options. So you need to install this. So alright, I'm gonna copy and paste this curl command. It's got the whole GitHub link there. And paste. I didn't like that. Alright. Well, I can type it. So, curl https raw.githubusercontents.com/ Adafruit / Raspberry -Pi -installer -scripts / master / pi -eyes .sh to pi -eyes.sh. Alright, got it. So sudo bash pi eyes.sh. Line 1 404 command not found. Let's take a look in this file. Ha! 404 not found. I must have misspelled URL. Let's see. raw.githubusercontent.com /adafruit /raspberry -pi -installer scripts. It downloaded something. And it was a different size. Let's take a look inside to be sure. Oh yeah, nice. Okay. So didn't run. Oh, I didn't run. Bash pieyes.sh. Script install software for the Adafruit Snake Eyes Bonnet for Raspberry Pi. Updates index files. Installs Python. Installs iCode and data. Enables peripherals. Set HDMI resolution. Disable overscan. Blah blah blah. Runtime about 25 minutes, and then a reboot. Okay. This says it's installing Python. That's fine. The website here is using PHP. So I'll just continue. I don't know why it's not responding. Oh, there it goes. Select screen type. HDMI. Install GPIO Halt utility. No. The GPIO Halt utility, there's some other like shutdown button feature thing that is available, but I don't want that. Install ADC support. You know what? I don't know what that means. Sound runs a script, installs it, will ask a few questions on the way, but then there's no information about the questions. Alright. I'm gonna say no. Install USB Ethernet gadget support. Pi 0, no. Continue, yes. And it's running stuff. First one's done, second one's done. Third one's done, fourth one's done. I don't know. It said it could take 25 minutes. So if that's the case, I think I'm going to stop the video here. Like I said earlier, I've got a pretty important meeting in the morning. If I get this worked out over the next couple days, I'll do a video showing the results and then an overview of the setup. Hopefully I didn't screw up anything on my WordPress knowledge base site on the Pi here. If so, I can always pull the database file off. Still not sure why the other SD card didn't work out. So we'll see how this goes, and I'm gonna 3D print those pumpkins and get the LEDs in there. So should be some great Halloween decorations. So I guess until next time, and again, the stream is now supported by the Brazilian musical artist Foey. You can find him on Twitter at FOEWI, and he's got a link there to a SoundCloud account, which has been playing throughout this evening. And I guess I will catch you later. And have a good one.